I'll tell you what, the Houston Rockets, they got all, and both teams actually. You would have loved this game, I'm sure. The Rockets and the Warriors were just jacking up three-pointers left and right. But all this talk about Russell Westbrook, with all the triple doubles and leading his Thunder, being an MVP candidate, James Harden. What about him?
I'm loving it. I think right now D'Antoni is probably one of the smartest coaches ever right now for putting James at point guard. It's definitely made this team better. A lot of people thought that this team wasn't going to be successful, wasn't even going to be a team to talk about in the West with Dwight Howard being gone and a couple changes. Well, putting James Harden at the point guard was definitely the answer. He's making everybody on the court better. Everybody knows he's a top 3, top 4 player in the league right now, one of the best scorers. And his playmaking has really surprised a lot of people. But the way he's playing right now, I think this is the way he wants to play. He wants to have the ball in his hand. He wants to be in control of the team. And like I said earlier, having him at point guard was the best change they could have made, and it's definitely helping his team.
Steven, let's talk about these three-pointers. A record 88 three-point attempts combined for these two teams. I mean, come on, it's too many, right? 88?
Well, hey, I gotta say that I'm a fan for it. You gotta think about, hey,
Really?
we started this. We started the three ball. We started the fast-paced game in Golden State. Meet Baron Davis, Richard Jefferson, we started. So I love it. I love to come to the fast break three-pointers. But you got the best shooters in the world shooting in this game too. Klay Thompson, KD, Steph Curry, James Harden, the best shooters in the game. It's fun to see that guys are stretching their game out and expanding to shooting to almost half court. Like I said, we started the 3 points, a lot of 3-point shots to win games, and it's good to see a lot of guys can shoot them.
88, man. It might be the record for quite some time.
Were you jealous? Would you have loved to have been out there?
You know I would have. You know I would.
All right, there was a moment there at the end of the game. I got to ask you about this here with Draymond Green, another questionable follow-through, if that's what you want to call it. We saw what he did with Steven Adams during the playoffs. His right foot comes all the way up and kicks James Harden in the face, in the head. What do you think about this?
You know, Draymond's just a wild guy. I mean, this should never happen. You know, a lot of times stuff like this happens when guys are trying to sell fouls or trying to get a foul when they know they're getting fouled. I think he sold it a little bit too much. There's no reason for anybody's foot to be across somebody's face, especially if neither guys are up at the rim trying to dunk or block a shot. I think Draymond was just trying to sell it and flail and get a foul. And I think it's going to cost him again because there's no reason for a foot to reach somebody's face like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, it's just, he should have more control over his body. I get it, but like this is just how he plays. He plays hard, and it is a little bit of a flail, but it's also a lot of aggression. And for a really, a top defensive player like him, it's the way he plays the game.
You know, and I agree with you on that too. So it's a fine line. You know, like I said, he does fail, he does flop a lot, but this guy plays hard. He's not one of those guys that flops like James Harden does, when it's really not a foul. This guy plays hard, and you got to give him some room because he plays with a lot of energy. He throws his body out there every other play, and a lot of guys don't do that. So you got to give him credit for that.